Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another battle to the death for you. Today, you have the Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight versus the Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight. They are different in size, but other than that, extremely similar knives. And this one's going to be kind of a tough one for me because the Manix 2 Lightweight, one of my all-time favorite lightweight knives. This particular one is probably one of the first really nice knives that I ever bought. I really do love it to tiny little pieces. And the Para 3 Lightweight, whilst I don't really care for the G10 Para 3, and even though after I got the Para 3 Lightweight, I did a comparison between it and the Benchmade Bug Out, and I said the Bug Out was better, and I do still kind of stand by that. I find myself grabbing this more than the Para 3 Lightweight. It's a lightweight that I've been grabbing a whole lot. But the question is it better than the Manix 2 Lightweight? One of my all-time faves. They're both very similar in price. $91 for the Para 3 Lightweight. You're looking at a little over 100 for this one, like 103 for the standard BD1 steel version. You can get it in this black or with a blue translucent. Both of those versions of the base ones are out of stock most places right now, but they come and go. There are a million different versions of the Manix 2 Lightweight. They've been making it forever and a day, and it's Spyderco. So there's a bunch of different blade steels available. There's been S90V sprint runs. The S110V version is regular production. You can get a Maximet version for $188 if you just want to be silly and spend a lot of money on a Manix 2 Lightweight. I say silly, even though I've often considered one myself. I do really kind of want one. The Para 3 is brand new, so it went out of stock also pretty quick in this plain edge, but the serrated are still in stock everywhere, and these are both regular production. They're going to be back in stock. Don't worry about it. Neither have been announced as being discontinued or anything. Another way they're similar is even though they are Spyderco Lightweights, they both have fun locks on them. They have locks that are fun to play with. Most of their Spyderco Lightweights are, back locks. Your Native 5, your Delica 4, all that stuff. Mostly they're just boring old back locks. These are not. These have the ball bearing lock on the Manix 2 Lightweight and the good old trusted compression lock on the Para 3. So I just think that's cool. I like that you can get a lightweight knife with a lock that's fun to play with. You're not stuck with a boring old back lock. Nothing wrong with a back lock. They work great, but they're not fun to fiddle with. So I think they're very similar. And I just want to see, even though I carry this knife a whole lot lately, would it ever kick the Manix 2 Lightweight out of my pocket? So that's kind of why I decided to do this. How do we decide it? Well, we have 7 categories. We have design and aesthetics, quality, blade, ergonomics, carry, deployment, and value. And at the end, I'm going to add them all up, get a point for each category, add them all up, and we pick a winner. But before we do that, let's do some stats. On the Manix 2 Lightweight, you have an overall length of 8 inches, blade length of 3.4 inches, blade thickness of 0.13 inches, handle thickness of 0.45 inches, and a weight of just about dead on 3 ounces. Now with your Para 3, obviously, this is a bit smaller knife. 7.25 inch overall length, 3 inch blade length, 0.14 inch blade stock, handle thickness of 0.45, and a weight of 2.4 ounces. So about what you'd expect as far as dimensions, weight, and all that stuff goes. Smaller knife, it's going to be a little bit lighter. All right, now let's get into the categories here. Design and aesthetics. This is always the most subjective category, and I know I'm going to get complaints because every time I say it, I do sometimes in the comments. But I think the Manix 2 is a pretty decent looking knife. Neither of these are great looking knives. Neither of them are beauty queens by any stretch of the imagination. The Manix 2 Lightweight, I think it was designed to be this size, and I think it looks like it. The Para 3 Lightweight is basically a shrunken version of a PM2. The original Para 3 was just a shrunken version of the Para 2, and the Para 3 Lightweight is just a lightweight version of that knife, and it looks like that. It looks like it was modified, like somebody just put it in a copier and shrunk it. And I've never liked the look of the Para 3 at all. The Lightweight doesn't really make it look that much better. Yeah, I think this is not that great of a looking knife. This is an ugly knife. I don't like the Para 3 Lightweight look. I'm never going to, no matter how many nasty comments I get. I just do not like the look of it at all. I think just design and aesthetics and look at it, you got to give it to the Manix 2 Lightweight, especially in the other versions that are available. In the translucent blue, it's really cool. The gray Maximet one looks great. I had an S90V special edition one, that was orange scales and all that from Cutlery Shop, and that was cool. But orange isn't my thing, but it did look cool. Right now you can only just get this basic version in the pair. I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch more. Maybe there'll be some pair of 3s that will have cooler colors, but they're still gonna have that shape, and I don't know. I just don't like the look of that shape at all. So got to give the win design and aesthetics to the Manix 2 Lightweight. Quality. This is a pretty easy win for the Para 3 Lightweight. This is FRN scales versus FCRP. The scales feel so much nicer on this, and they look so much better. The Manix 2 Lightweight, even when I first got it, like I said, it was my first nice knife that I bought. I remember taking it out of the box and being disappointed with just how cheap it looked and felt. This feels just like, regular old plastic. You have some edges here that aren't quite flush, things like that. It's just this, and it's also, I guess I'm going to put it in this category. It is pinned together, so there's that. Yeah, because I got to mention that somewhere, because that's always been an annoying thing about the Lightweight. But yeah, quality-wise, it hands down, Para 3 Lightweight absolutely is. It's a much newer knife. It's a newer design. They've made changes along the way. It's unsurprising that the Para 3 Lightweight is much nicer, but I think it's a much nicer knife. If you pick it up in your hand, this one feels like 91 bucks. I'm not sure that feels like 103 anymore. Blade. You have CTS BD1N steel on the Para 3 Lightweight, and CTS BD1 on the Manix 2, which you think, oh, it's the same thing. It isn't. The BD1N is actually quite a bit more advanced steel. Performs a lot better in cut tests. I'm perfectly fine with the BD1. I actually really like it. I think it gets more flack than it deserves. I've always had very good edge retention with mine. It's always worked really well. I've never had any issue with it whatsoever, but BD1N is just that little bit better. Cedric Ada did, cut tests on it. It was performing damn near S30V levels. That's great. Yes, this is a bit thinner blade stock. It's a bit thinner behind the edge. It probably does slice better, but this is just a much better steel. So blade-wise, even though I do really like cutting cardboard with the BD, even though it's BD1 with the Manix 2 Lightweight, I got to give the edge to the Para 3 on that one. It's just because that BD1N steel. I'm actually very, very impressed with the BD1N. I think it's pretty darn great. Now, next up, Ergonomics. This will be a bit dependent on hand size, but I only have large size gloves, and as I've said many times, I've got pretty skinny fingers, and yes, I have more than enough room on this. I don't need remotely any of this room, so you could have complete gorilla mitts and you're still going to fit on a Manix 2 Lightweight. Absolutely, it's awesome for that. As far as choking up, they're both equally good that way. They both have excellent finger choils, all that stuff. The edges are a bit rounded off on the Para 3 Lightweight, which almost makes me want to give it the win in ergonomics, but no, a Manix 2 is just going to fit everybody. There's not a hand in the world this isn't going to be okay with, and I have to give it to the Manix 2 Lightweight for ergonomics. I think you just have to. Carry. This one's almost kind of unfair because they're different in size, and that's kind of why I usually try to only compare knives that are exactly the same size. But this isn't even just a case of that, because if you even compare this to like the Manix 2 versus, here I have one here, a full-size paramilitary 2. As you can see, it's still just extremely tall in the pocket. And when you slide that sucker in there, you've got what? You've got a full, inch and 3/4 or whatever it's taken up in your pocket. And when you compare it to the Para 3 Lightweight, yeah, it's still pretty tall, but it's not nearly as tall in the pocket. It doesn't take up nearly as much room as the Manix 2 Lightweight. They both are right hand, left hand, which is cool. They both have wire clips, which I like. For some reason on the Manix 2, it doesn't loop over. Maybe if they do a Manix 3 Lightweight, it'll loop over, because I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't know if these clips would swap or not, but I bet they might. But yeah, it's not even that. It's just they both slide in and out well. Both of them are smart enough to put the Spyderco logo underneath the pocket clip instead of the instead of having it on this multi-directional texture stuff, which does work very well, by the way, grip-wise. They both work excellently that way. The Spyderco logo on the Manix 2 Lightweight is a bit more recessed, so you do feel it a bit more, where this one you don't feel it at all. It's just kind of a shiny spot. It's not really recessed at all. Yeah, this is just a much nicer knife to carry. Again, it's a bit unfair in that category because the Manix 2 Lightweight is just a larger knife, so of course it's going to carry worse, but the Manix 2 has never been good for its blade length size as far as carry goes. Deployment. This is this is choose your own adventure. This is which one do you like better? Do you like compression lock, or do you like the ball bearing lock? They're both fun. They both Spidey flick. They both do all that stuff you want a Spyderco to do. They're both super easy to open and close one hand. Yeah, if you are lefty, that's a bit more ambidextrous. Obviously more ambidextrous. The compression lock is okay left hand. At least me and my son has one. He doesn't mind that it's not a lefty, but the ball bearing lock is going to work better if you're lefty. But it's just choosing your adventure on these two. I mean, which one do you like more? There are two phosphor bronze washers on the Manix 2 Lightweight. There's only one on the Para 3 Lightweight. Some people freak out about that. Again, I still have not found that to be an issue at all, but if that's something that bothers you, it's something that bothers you. It doesn't seem to bother me. It seems to work fine. Some Spyderco Lightweights have no washers at all, so it doesn't really bother me. They know what they're doing as far as that goes. I'm not sweating it. And this one is much more easily serviceable if you want to smooth out the action and all that stuff. So there's that. But I have to just call it a wash. I'm just going to call it a tie on the deployment and action and all that. It's just, you know, which one do you like more? We all have our preferences. Now, value. Again, I have to preface, I love the Manix 2 Lightweight, but you can see which way this one's going. Para 3 Lightweight all day. Much better value. Not only is it less expensive, it has better steel. It feels like a much nicer knife. You can take it apart. It's not pinned together. Yeah, this is an easy walk away win in the value category with the Para 3 Lightweight. So that leaves us with a score of 4-2 with one tie. Easy win for the Para 3 Lightweight. And it's not surprising because I have been carrying it a whole lot lately, and I've really been enjoying carrying it. It's one of my favorite Spydercos that's come out recently, despite its ugly looks. For some reason, the regular G10 one never connected with me, but this one is. It doesn't connect with me as much as my beloved Manix 2 Lightweight. Well, it's kind of unfair because I've had this one for a long time. I have slight emotional attachment to it, but it's not going to kick it out of the pocket. I'm not going to sell it or anything like that. But yeah, it is really, really freaking good. It's definitely a clear win. If somebody was going to a store right now and said, which one of these two should I buy, in a heartbeat, in a blink, Para 3 Lightweight, definitely all day long. Now, if they come out with a PM2 Lightweight, which I have heard rumors of, and yeah, may or may not have seen a prototype of, then yes, that would be fantastic. I would really, really like to see that. And then we'll do this whole thing all over again. But I think you know which way it would go, because the Manix 2 Lightweight, it needs some updating. It's getting a bit long in the tooth, and I do wish they'd update it. A Manix 3 Lightweight would be fantastic, that you could take apart, and with these nicer FRN scales instead of the FCRP, that would be fantastic. I don't see it happening, but it would be really cool if they did. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.